Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of Oh Wait, I'm the Doctor Now, a series where I take you through tips and tricks to make that transition from final year medical student to junior doctor a little bit easier. Today I'm going to talk about navigating long days. Now, briefly about shift patterns. So when I say long day, to me that means a 12-hour shift or an on-call. Different places refer to them differently. And then a normal working day on my rota is like a 9 to 5, or sometimes they call those short days, even though 9 to 5 is not a short day at all. It takes different tools to navigate the long day, honestly, because you're there for ages. Like, I say 12 hours, it's not actually 12 hours. So on my surgery job, our long days were 8 till 8:15 p.m., 8 in the morning till 8:15 p.m. And on my current jobs, our long days are 9 till 9:30. That is so, it just feels so long talking about it. But when you're preparing for your first few long days, there's a few key things to remember. One, please don't go hungry. Don't go on an empty stomach. I know a lot of people don't have breakfast because they just don't, it's not their thing. However, your first few long days, I can't tell you whether or not you're going to get a break. I can't tell you whether or not you're going to get a chance to sit down and properly eat a meal. So please go already having had some breakfast. Like, if you can, have something to eat in the morning, something on your way to work. What a lot of people used to do on my surgical rotation was eat in handover. If possible, like have a croissant or something as someone was handing over to you. So you're having that time where you've made it to work, you're on time, but you can just have something to eat before. What I used to do as well sometimes is have a cup of tea in handover. So I'm a fan of breakfast, so I would have had breakfast already, but I'll get into work maybe like 5 minutes early, make a cup of tea, and then go to handover with a cup of tea, sip on it, and just nice relaxed start to the day. So yes, please have something to eat in the morning, just for the first few. Once you've got the hang of it, once you know what's required of you on a long day in your rotation, then you can say, okay, I definitely have time for lunch, I definitely have time for dinner, or whatever else it is. The second thing is keep hydrated throughout the day. Like 13 hours is a long time. And if you're not drinking water, if you're not keeping your body hydrated, that fatigue hits. Honestly, it really hits. And make sure you're taking time to go to the toilet. This is all very standard, straightforward stuff, but you will be surprised how easy it is to blink and it's 7 p.m. You've been somewhere since 8 in the morning and you have not been to the toilet once to pass urine. Like, stuff like that happens. It really does. And it's important to be mindful of it. Anyone that's working 13 hours is entitled by law to have at least a 1 hour break, like at least, right? So please, at some point in the evening, once you've had your like lunch break, you know how we're fans of lunch breaks here, so make sure you have your lunch break if you can, but at some point in the evening, once that on-call has started, or what I've tried to do now is like just before 5 o'clock, so just before everyone else hands over their jobs to me and goes, I'm like, can I just take like 15-20 minutes to go sit down because I'm on the long day and I might not get a chance to relax again. So that's come with experience for me, whereas prior I would just try and work till 5 and then on the long day try and sit down wherever I get a chance. I guess it's a good time to maybe try and explain the on-call part of the long day. So for most rotations, the first part of the day, like the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 5 or 8 to 4, depending on what type of rotation you're on, is like the normal working day. So there'll be more members of staff around, there'll be more junior doctors manning the floor. After 4 o'clock or after 5 o'clock, again, depending on what rotation you're doing, there'll be less junior doctors around and people hand over all the tasks that they were unable to get done during the day or that just need to be done in the evening to you as the on-call doctors, the doctor that's staying until you hand over to the night team. So on my current rotation, during the day, on my team, there's like 3 to 4 junior doctors. On the on-call, meaning after 5 o'clock, there is just one junior doctor. So most of the time it's fairly manageable. There will always be tasks that couldn't be done during the day that if I get a chance to do, I might. If I don't get a chance to do, it's not the end of the world. It can always be done in the morning. The other types of tasks are tasks that have to be done. So for, just as an example, someone needs their troponin repeated at 7 p.m. It just has to be done. So somewhere in my day, I have to make time to, somewhere in my evening, I have to make time to do that. We also have a triage service. Both my jobs that I did on call had a triage, and honestly, like, how many people are coming through triage can make such a difference to how your on-call goes. Triage for us is when basically people call in or GPs refer, and then whatever the issue is, they just basically come in. And I had that for my surgical job. GPs referred, or if you were known to the unit already, you could self-refer. So if you were like within a month of your operation and you were having complications, you could just call and be like, hey, my wound is broken down, or whatever it is. And so if there's loads of people in triage, they need to be clerked, and you can only hand over like so much clerking. If someone, this is the rule that I go by, if someone arrives before 8:30, so for a shift that finishes at 9, if someone arrives before 8:30, I'm gonna have to clerk them. If they arrive after 8:30, depending on what's going on around the ward, or if I need to get the list ready and updated, if I need to finish up some other tasks, I might not, because it's better for me to just let someone else start and finish than me starting a task and then like trying to hand over half-done things. Sometimes it's a little bit, not as good. But yes, I'm going off on a tangent about long days instead of telling you guys how to navigate long days. So my key themes about how to navigate long days: 1, arrive ready. Arrive hydrated, fed, watered, because you don't know how the day is going to go. Try and get a good bit of sleep the night before, especially if you're going into your first few long days. If you've never done long days before, they can be exhausting. Meal prep, because coming home at 9:30, so if I finish work at 9:30, I get home like 10, sometimes I get home at 10:30 depending on what time I left. Once I've hit the shower, eaten, like, when do you have time to cook or to make lunch or blah blah blah? So if you can meal prep, definitely do that. Have some food ready so you're just eating, getting in the shower, going to sleep, and that's the day. And look after yourself. Long days can be really, really challenging. Take, where you can, time within the long day. So there's ebbs and flows most of the time. If you're having a calm moment where you could prep a TTO, or you could just relax for 10 minutes, and then maybe go and do that non-urgent task after, especially if you've not had a chance to rest the whole day. So yeah, definitely prioritize rest throughout the day, especially in those first few long days. I was also going to talk about night shifts, but I feel like this video is already too long. I have a post on Instagram about how I navigate night shifts. You will all get your own rhythm and your own routine for long days and for night shifts. But yeah, that post is available if you wanted just a little, how someone else does it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on @RimbyTheMedic, and see you in the next episode.